Hi, my name is Lucy Reyes, and I know all too well about grief. The one thing I've learned about it is that grief is absolutely no joke. See, I am the sister of Eduvigis Reyes Jr., also known as Eddie, who was killed in the 9/11 terror attacks in New York City in the towers. He was only 37 years old. Imagine going to work one day and never coming home. That sent me into a whirlwind of emotions that I thought I'd never feel. From looking for him to praying and hoping that he would come home, that he was not in that building. All the while, I really knew he was already there. Crying is an understatement. Feeling depressed, going into what I call a really black hole that sometimes I don't even remember much of what I felt when I was even in there, because while he died, I was slowly dying myself because I wanted my brother back and I didn't understand. See, he was funny, loud, wild, crazy, a sports fan. And we lived together and laughed together and did life together. And then one day, all of that was taken away from me. He left behind 3 beautiful little girls, 9 siblings, a mom, and a whole bunch of nephews and nieces. We did not know what to do or how to feel. And when you're a Christian, I think you're expected to feel a certain way and say, well, God has this, and God is going to get you through this. And I believe he did. And I know he did. But at the moment, your emotions all over the place and you're angry. So you're not sure where to find God at that moment. It took a very long time. The days turned into months. The months felt like years, and the years felt like centuries. Your world was no longer normal, and you're supposed to just go on and act like life is normal. Oh, but you're just missing your brother. That is not how it works. Grief is a process. Grief is hard. It causes unimaginable pain. I don't feel my brother just died, because I know in my heart my brother was murdered. That made it 10 times harder. What helped me through all of this was family, friends, and all the other vessels that the Lord brought into my life when I was screaming on that floor saying, if you don't take this pain away, my mother is going to lose another child because I don't want to live anymore. But he did. And he comforted me in ways that I never even thought imaginable. See, I pay attention to Matthew 5:4 that has become my life verse. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And God did provide that comfort. At times I didn't understand it, didn't see it, but he did. And he helped me and my family crawl out of a dark hole. And we're able to be here today to talk about this. While this pain will never go away almost 20 years later, and I mean never will ever go away, I learned how to manage grief in a different way. I talk to God. I pray. When I'm not okay, I reach out for help. And he reminds me that he's there by reminding me of my brother's laughter, his jokes, a song that may come on the radio that reminds me, Eddie is still here. Your brother still is very much alive in your heart. And that's something that no one could ever take away from you. I live every day knowing that while this tragedy is not easy to mourn, because I don't mourn it by myself, not only do I mourn it with my family, with his children, but we mourn it with the world, because it's not your typical way of dying. I totally know in my heart, God is the one that saw me through it all, even through the midst of all of my anger. Because when I screamed and I said, I can't do this anymore, something inside of me changed. And I started to realize if I didn't make it through, it was just going to be just as bad. for my mom. And that's one of the things that I truly thought about all the time. Mom cannot lose another child, because I did feel like I was slowly dying without my brother. When you don't know how to manage grief, it's not easy. But when you figure out who really has you, and for me, it was God. And it took a long time. I believe in God then. I believe in him even more now, almost 20 years later, but I didn't know how to process the pain. I needed to scream to him, please help me, or I'm not going to make it. I'm sinking like quicksand. But I know, Eddie, you're there. And I know you're always there. You pop up in my dreams just when I think, oh, time has passed and it feels okay. You pop up and remind me, nah, sis, I'm right here. And I love that, because that's God's way of comforting me. So, bro, until I see you again, I miss you like crazy, and I love you bunches.